Kiran from NIT. He is research colleague.
Yeah, shall we start, sir?
Let's wait for the coordinators.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, sir. We can start now. Let me introduce the session. Good morning to all.
Yeah.
Today, here with us, Dr. Kiran M. is from NITK Suratkar. And with Dr. Kiran M, we have a research colleagues discussing on blockchain applications with IoT. After that, a deep look at IoT in smart city and other applications. Okay. Over to you, sir.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you very much, Dr. Pramod. Very good morning, all. Um, yeah,
Yeah.
so we are at the slag end of the workshop, the last day of the workshop. And so we have almost covered the practical sessions as well as theoretical session as well, the basic concepts. And so these two sessions, so what we're going to see in another 3 hours. So it will be so quite slightly bit advanced one. So where we're going to see the one of the cutting edge technology, that is blockchain technology, and how blockchain technology can be incorporated with IoT for the greater good of society. Okay. And especially we are concentrating on smart city applications by Mr. Rahul, and then Mr. Tyson, one more research scholar of me, who is both of them are working on IoT only. So, but so they are giving a 5G flavor, okay. And Mr. Tyson is will give a glimpse of how IoT can be used in agricultural sector. Okay, and so let me give a brief introduction to these two scholars, and then I'll hand over the session to Mr. Rahul. And so coming to Mr. Tyson, uh, full name of Mr. Tyson is Tyson Baptist Dikuna. So right now he's a research scholar in Department of IT, NITK Suratkal. So he had done his BE as well as MTech under VTU, and he got a company experience as well, so industry experience for nearly 1 year, and he got a professional experience as well, like for St. Joseph Engineering College for 1 year. Okay, so and so coming to Mr. Rahul did his BTech as well as MTech. His BTech in Nalanda College of Engineering, Nalanda, and MTech Masters in NIT Sikkim. And right now he's doing his PhD in NITK under me. Okay, and so both of them are working on IoT. So, but as I said, so they are giving a 5G flavor for it. So because nowadays you know that industry 4.0, so it's now it's called as industry IoT, like, okay. So complete industry is dominated by IoT devices. So so for these IoT devices, if we give a faster connectivity using 5G, so we can expect much more what do you call the response from these devices. So that is what we are working on. So hopefully we may come up with a good theoretical background for that one. Okay. So with this, let me hand over the session to Mr. Rahul. So Mr. Rahul,
Yes, sir.
yeah, take over the session. All the best. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Yeah. Good morning, everyone. Our workshop topic is an application of IoT in smart cities. In this workshop, I'm going to cover the need of smart solutions, basics of IoT, some concept regarding a smart city, and various applications of IoT in a smart city, and some challenges at the time of deployment, and various things, and at last conclusion. This figure shows the current city scenario, like almost city facing this type of problem. One of the common problem is a traffic jam, garbage issue, pollutions, waiting lands. This must be avoided with the help of IoT solutions. These problems are a global issue where almost every city is facing, like population explosion, lack of good transportation infrastructure, good environmental constraints, lack of public safety, more energy consumptions, and high management cost. This is the theoretical things, like why we need a smart solutions, as by 2025 60% of the world population will be residing in cities. We can say more people lead more traffic that consumes more energy, water, and produces more waste. To address these challenges of rapid growing urbanization, the concept of a smart city has come. The smart city basically integrates information and communication technology, IoT, and 5G to improve the city services and operations. In all these things, data is the core element for designing smart things and applications. With the help of a smart city, it constantly improving the citizens' quality of life. Smart cities should be technological advanced, that should be clean, environment friendly. With the help of a smart city, the economic activities, job opportunities, and a high quality of life are achieved. The basic building block of a smart cities are a physical infrastructure that include highways, railway infrastructure, and many more. Social infrastructure, institutional infrastructure, like good technological institute, like if we consider India, like IIT, NIT, IIM, and economic infrastructure. The major smart city key elements are city planning, healthcare services, intelligent transport system, street maintenance, disaster preparedness, and public safety policy. This figure compare the difference between the intelligent things and the smart things. We can say intelligent things only know the knowledge, like it has own computing capability, whereas the smart city share the knowledge to other devices, and that is connected to that device. These are the some industry definition of IoT. According to International Data Corporation, a network connecting devices or things that is characterized by autonomous provisioning, management, and monitoring is termed as the IoT. According to Cisco, IoT is the next evolution of the internet, connecting the unconnected people, processes, data, and things in business today. McKinsey defines the IoT as sensors and actuators connected by networks to computing systems. This system can monitor or manage the health and actions of connected objects and machines. Connected sensor can also monitor the natural world, people, and animal. The good definition or almost everywhere expected definition given by IEEE. I read IoT is defined as an IoT system is a network of networks where typically a massive number of objects, things, sensor or devices are connected through communications and information infrastructure to provide value-added services via intelligent processing and management for different applications. Like applications may be smart cities, a smart health, a smart grid, a smart home, and a smart transportation system. We can say the what can IoT like what is the process and how the IoT is implemented through the exploitation of identification, data capturing, processing, and communication capabilities. IoT make use of things to offer services to all kinds of applications while ensuring that security and privacy requirements are fulfilled. This figure shows the how IoT systems are working. Like initially, various sensors are deployed for data gathering, and that data is stored on the cloud machine using data analytics and data processing. That data is received and or managed using various applications, and that application takes some decision regarding the real-time actions. This figure shows the growth in the IoT. We can say in the 2020, the almost 50 billion devices are exceeding. If we compare with the if you go with the before 10 year, like 2010 12, it is nearly almost 8.7 billion, and we can compare with the 2020, or we can think in the 2025, like almost devices goes around 70 billion 80 billion approximately. This was the huge growth of the IoT devices. This figure basically compares the number of people and the number of things around us. Like in 2010, the number of connecting things to the internet exceeds the number of people on the earth. Nowadays, the every year the smart devices, smart things are increasing enormously. Yeah. There are lots of sensors devices are available today, like proximity sensor, GaN sensor, color sensor, PIR sensor, water flow sensor, lots of sensor. Uh, uh, these are the technology that support IoT implementation, like IPv6, which is used to provide the addressing of the unique addresses of the IoT devices, things. Big data used to analyze and making the smart decision, intelligent decision using the gathered data. A good network infrastructure like a free Wi-Fi, or we can say the high-speed 5G, cheap sensors, cheap processing, and a smart chipper, and smartphones, or we can say smart devices that operate this. Smart sustainable city. We can define the smart city as it is a innovative city uh, that uses information and communication technology and other means to improve the citizens' quality of life, efficient urban operations and services, and competitiveness among cities, while ensuring that it meets the need of present and future generation with respect to economic, social, and environmental aspects. We consider the India, it has also the smart city mission. Like in India, it covers the 100 cities in 5 years. The mission objective is to promote the cities that provide core infrastructure and give decent quality of life to its citizens, a clean and sustainable environment, and application of a smart solution. The three major components are city improvement, city redevelopment, and city extension, that may be a greenfield development. This is the common feature which a smart city must include, like smart governance, or we can say e-governance, smart education, smart healthcare, smart building, smart mobility, smart energy, smart technology, smart infrastructure. These are the some application in the transportation sector, like a smart transportation system. It includes smart automobiles, that is, means autonomous vehicles. We can say number plate recognition, vehicle to vehicle communication, or vehicle to anything communication. In vehicle to vehicle communication, the vehicle transmit the speed, position to the another vehicles to provide road safety and improve the quality and save the time. Smart lighting system, it automatically off a street light when no vehicle or people are present. Smart lighting system save the power and reduce light pollutions. Smart traffic management, that reduces the traffic congestions. provide energy savings, increase road vehicle capacity. Another application of in transportation is smart parking. One of the major application, like it optimize the usage of resources like a space, time. A smart state, we can say maintenance of roads, which optimize the cost. Electronic toll collection is the one of the major application, like FASTag is used to automatically what the online payment for the toll. Yeah. This figure shows the various IEEE standard defined for the vehicle to vehicle communication. There are various standard like IEEE 2030 and IEEE 1547 series, IEEE P1562, for intelligent transport system, IEEE 1609, and many more. This is the dashboard inside the autonomous car. Like in dashboard contains the every information regarding the outside of the world, process the real-time data, analyze the physical environment, and this figure shows the many more things, like how autonomous car is running and the inside environment of the autonomous car. Internet of vehicle is nothing the extension of IoT for the implementation of the vehicle to vehicle communication. Like Internet of vehicle is the in every vehicle is connected to the network infrastructure and share their speed, positions to run the smoothly their services and avoid the accidents and many more. Yeah. Internet of water is the specific application of IoT. Like it manages the flow of water, it identifies the leakages in the pipes, and it mainly used in the smart agriculture, like a smart irrigation system, which enhances the productivity of the farmer. The IoT applications in society, we can say the waste management is a good example, like conversion of waste to fuel, waste to compost, water waste treatment, and waste recycling, and reduction of carbon dioxide emissions. Smart e-governance, like effective governance that ensure electronic service delivery, crime monitoring, and citizen engagement. Smart environment, that includes sustainable and remove the barrier regarding future development. Water management, which uses a smart meter that manages water supply, leakage identification, water quality monitoring, and prior maintenance. The smart policing provides transparency, gain trust of people, and make policing decision to protect citizens. Public safety, that is a smart elevator, face mask detection, facial recognition, used to identify criminals. Smart home, domestics and home automation. Domestics is the combination of domestic and robotics. We can automate the process of home appliances, like we can save the energy and water use, energy and water supply consumption monitoring to obtain advice on how to save cost and resources. Remote control appliances, switching on and off remotely appliances to avoid the accidents and save energy. We can also implement in the intrusion detection system, like a detection of window and door openings and violation to prevent intruders. This figure shows the glimpses of the smart homes, like every devices is connected through the Wi-Fi and that exchange the data. Uh, yeah. IoT is also used to implement the IoT environment monitoring, like forest fire detection, monitoring of combustion gases and primitive fire conditions to define alert zones, used to reduce the air pollution, like control of carbon dioxide emissions of factories, pollution emitted by cars, and toxic gases generated in farms, and landslide and avalanche prevention, monitoring of soil moisture, vibration, and earth density to detect dangerous pattern in land condition. With the help of IoT, we can detect the earthquake early. Yeah, we can deploy the IoT services in the security and emergencies, like access control to restricted area and detection of people in unauthorized area using the motion sensor and various sensors, radiation level, distributed measurement of radiation levels in nuclear power plant surroundings to generate leakage alerts, detection of explosive and hazardous gas, like in industrial environments, surroundings of chemical factories and inside mines. This focus shows the surveillance in the platform, railway junction, or we can say airport. How can use the CCTV to surveillance the peoples. Uh, Retail management is one of the major application of IoT, like used to supply chain control, monitoring of storage conditions along the supply chain, and product tracking for traceability purpose, smart product management, control of rotation of product in a warehouse to automate the restocking processes, near field communication payment processing based on location or activity duration for public transport, gyms, and theme park, intelligent shopping applications, getting advice according to customer habits, preferences, presence of allergy components for them, or expiring dates. Logistic management. In logistic management, smart logistic under a smart logistic, it provides the end-to-end transparency, speed up the transport of goods, and manages inventory and stocks. Quality of shipment conditions, monitoring of product container opening or cold chain maintenance for insurance purpose. It identifies the location, like search and individual items in big service area like a warehouse. Storage incompatibility detection, like warning emission on containers storing inflammable goods close to other containing explosive materials. Industrial control. These are the various IoT applications we can deploy in the smart city. Like in industrial control, it monitors the indoor air quality, monitoring of toxic gases and oxygen level inside chemical plants to ensure worker and goods safety. Temperature monitoring, control of temperature inside industrial and medical fridges. Indoor location identify using radio frequency identification or near field communication. And machine to machine application, which auto-diagnoses the machines and control the assets. This figure shows the industrial private networks used to interconnect the various industrial things like a security camera, operator access, and track the shipment arriving, automated guided vehicles, and employee access. All things are privately controlled in the industry. Yeah, latency is the one of the major concern for the stricter reliability. Like for factory automation, we can say the latency it handle between the 0.25 to 10 millisecond. For the intelligent transportation system, it can tolerate the latency between 10 to 100 millisecond. And for the smart grids, it can handle the latency between 3 to 20 millisecond. Smart health or remote health is one of the major application of the smart IoT. In a smart health, we can say telemedicine is the growing industry under smart health services, medical fridges, control of conditions inside freezers, storing vaccines, medicines, and organic elements. And using the IoT, we can surveillance the patient, like monitoring of conditions of patient inside hospital and in old people's home, ultraviolet radiation, measurement of ultraviolet sun rays to warn people not to be exposed in certain hours. This figure shows the various IEEE standard used to implementation of this remote monitoring, remote health monitoring, like for insulin pump IEEE 11073, for glucose meter IEEE 11073, and many more. Some are the another major applications like smart farming, smart grid. In a smart farming, it optimizes the human labor, increase the quality and quantity of agriculture products, and reduces the cost of farming. A smart grid reduces the electricity peak and energy lost. Smart education, one of the major IoT applications like tele-education, energy management, which includes renewable sources of energy, smart meters for management, green buildings, integrated weather stations, provide real-time weather data, crime forecasting system, used to help the police department, mobile forensic software. Uh, it manages the evidence gathering platform, evidence tracking. Some of the major challenges regarding IoT, like as various sensors are deployed that gather the real-time massive data, the handling of that data is the one of the major challenge. Analysis and the processing of that data they required a good data analytic tool. Describe information created by sensors in different applications. Efficient utilization of heterogeneous sensors. Uh, interoperability among various devices sensors, and it is almost all sensors are battery operated, that consumes low energy. This is the another major challenges. uh, Deployment of the various sensor is the major challenges. Cost efficiency, maintenance is the another overhead, scalability, energy saving, low power communication, as mostly are battery operated, and we didn't go to frequently see the sensor deployed. That's why it is challenges to how to harvest the energy, and security and privacy is the one of the major concern. Challenges at technology level, like energy, ultra low power devices and energy harvesting needed. In intelligence, capabilities of self-awareness, adaptability, inter-machine communication, for implementation of communication, new smart antenna protocols, application programming interface, together with network management and visualization technique need to be developed for integration. Wireless ID technology like radio frequency identification should be integrated to devices to uniquely identify the sensors and devices. Dependability, authentication of billion of heterogeneous devices. Modeling and design is the another major overhead for technological level, like innovative model design frameworks needed for large scale IoT system. Interoperability standards that ensure interoperability among devices by integrating different standardized architectures. Protocols define open standard and reference models. uh, Real world IoT scenarios. And manufacturing costs would be lower to key tools such as RFID. These are the some major smart city challenges, like to deployment of the smart services. It includes various costly infrastructure, like complex and costly infrastructure associated with installing and maintaining various sensors and devices. Challenges to replace old infrastructure such as underground wiring, transportation tunnels, steam spines, and many more. Security and hacker threats is one of the major challenge. If a hacker can access and hack the smart management system, then it may shut down entire city. Privacy concern for citizens, like need to maintain a balance between a citizen's privacy and quality of life. No one wants to feel that they are continuously monitored. And engaging and educating the community. Citizens should be engaged and taking benefits of new technology. This is achieved through a series of call meetings and emails, online education that provides the citizens up to date. Uh, Social inclusiveness, like there should be no division among people based on their income or education. Interoperability, alignment of various city departments, stakeholders on common place, data sharing among all. A smart city also affects the existing trade and commerce system, which works manually. For fully deployment of a smart city, like I need to develop a 5G enabled machine and devices. Currently, lack of chip manufacturer. It according to some journals, it also reduces the human job, because the job is mostly job is implemented using machines, and that automation reduces the human job. Yeah, at last, we can say internet is one of the fastest growing technology field in the world. Autonomous car have set automobile industry on next level. Smart cities are being decorated with smart and artificially intelligent devices. World population moving towards urban cities. Yeah, any queries? Am I audible? Hello?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, any queries?
Yes, dear participants, if you have any query, you can ask the questions to Mr. Rahul. Sir, there is a question.
Yeah.
In which you can it is presented in the chat box.
Okay.
What are the key challenges to make a city as a smart city?
Yeah.
Question posted by Mohit Beniwal.
एक second. Yeah, what are the key challenges to make a city as a smart city? Uh, as I told, there are mostly key challenges. There are lots of key challenges. Uh, I have explained, like the infrastructure is costly. For implementation of a smart city, it requires a good telecom infrastructure. IoT services includes what lots of sensors, and the communication among sensors, and that data is should be stored on the cloud. That required lack what we can say reduced latency. This increases the cost of the infrastructure. And on what the major issue is the privacy concern. If you heard about the American system, in American government, it monitored the every people's. This is the major concern, we can say. And as I explained, another major challenge, engaging and educating the community, and we can say social inclusiveness, interoperability, and these are listed here. That's all. Hello. Yeah. So maybe there are some uncertain challenges which we didn't consider sometimes. Uncertain challenges, what you can say, if you consider the India, then there are lots of uncertain challenges. In Indian people, lack of good technical knowledge and how to utilize the technology, we can say. Because the Indian people are, if you go in villages, and they are nothing know about what is the 5G, IoT, and how to take the services of smart technology. That's why we can say this is the uncertain challenges. Yeah, Mohit Beniwal. Yeah. Yeah, and if no more query, then I hand over the session to Tyson. Tyson, are you
Yes,
there?
sir. Yes, sir. Yes.
Yeah. Are you ready?
Yeah. Any other queries, sir? Dr. Pramod, sir? If there are no queries, then we'll start with my presentation.
Tyson, can you explain the previous question asked by? Have you any more idea? Asked by
Yeah.
Mohit Beniwan.
Yes, I think he's satisfied with the answer. The thing is, yeah, there are many uncertain challenges in implementing smart cities. For example, now if you see the current city scenario, the people are not ready to adapt, the new technologies. They are also, we can say, more into orthodox family types. So they are not ready to accept the current challenges, current technologies. One is, they don't want to spend unnecessarily. One thing. Secondly, there
Yeah.
so much of confusion regarding if the technology comes. There are certain limitations also for that, such as radiations, or you can say, when it comes to the kids. For example, if you come to a smart home, there are many challenges. It is very easy to use for those who are educated, but there are people who are uneducated too. Or you can say, grandmother, grandfathers, or the old people who are not educated and who are not very good with terms of technology. So there comes a real challenge when implementing this. I just give you example of smart home. When it comes to smart cities, obviously there are also certain technologies which need to be taken care while implementing, because people should be ready to adapt certain technologies. If the people don't adapt, that is the main problem. Implementing them is not a big thing. Considering the uncertain challenges and moving forward with the technology is a major challenge. And maintaining the technology is also a certain challenge for technicians or engineers. So Rahul, if you can stop sharing, I can start my.
Yeah. Let me see another query if I got. Do you think?
Pratik Jana, yeah. Do you think there will be a radiation hazard in smart home? Yeah, obviously, sir. There are many technologies which use networks like 5G, or if you're using a Wi-Fi, it's not a problem. But there are certain SIM modules and things which use network towers, or certain devices or equipment. They usually emit radiations. For example, your mobile phone. If you consider your mobile phone, there are certain things which you need to consider. You can't talk to a person charging your phone. There is a lot of radiation hazards when it comes to if you're considering your mobile phone. Now just consider your home with fully equipped devices, and there are certain chances of radiations, or I mean not fully, but the point you can say there are radiation hazards too. So we need to take care of
every
it.
technology had some pros and cons. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what. Why nowadays people are insisting in smart home? Yeah, see, for everything there is pros and cons. Yeah, as Rahul told. So you need to manage the cons and come out. So there are certain techniques which can reduce. There will be certain techniques which will be introduced by in near future, which can reduce the radiations, or maybe any other challenges with the techniques. There might be any technology which will come forward and stop these things, or will maintain this
Then
thing.
why, Tyson? Then why nowadays people are
Yeah, that's
insisting
the
on
question I
smart home?
answered. So there will be certain technology which will stop the cons, or stop the disadvantages, or maintain the disadvantages and move on. So for every problem there is a solution. So
Yeah, we have to minimize the hazards and minimize the what we can say the people means what you can say. We can't stop the hazardous problem completely. We just try to minimize that issue.
yeah, obviously.
Yeah.
Yeah, we need to follow some industry standards too. So people should be, technically educated, or people should be given such information, to how to use certain technologies in a right way. Okay, so that is the major challenge, or that's the goal of an engineer. So if no other questions, I think I can start with my presentation. Is there any other queries? Participants, you are very free to answer. Ask.
Let me ask Pramod, sir. Pramod Kumar, yes.
Hello.
Yeah.
Yes.
Sir, as you have told, network of vehicles, it came 15 years ago.
Internet of vehicles. Yeah.
Vehicular attack network, VANETs, 15 years ago.
Yeah.
As you told, it is new one.
No. Internet of vehicle is the latest technology. Yeah.
No, that same vehicular adapt network, that is called VANETs.
Vehicular adapt network.
Ad hoc network.
Okay, vehicular ad hoc network.
VANETs came 15 years back.
Okay. Currently, I have no idea. Tyson, do you have any idea regarding vehicular ad hoc network?
I'm not that good in that, but these are technologies which some of the applications which Rahul explained. Maybe they are old or maybe they are new ones, but I think they're applications. Maybe they're outdated, but these are the things which were introduced earlier, and now now some might be using, or it might be replaced by other technologies. So it's just it's a technology which might be 15 years ago or 20 years ago, but it was used and might be replaced by the other technologies too. I think it is not included in the current scenario of smart city, but it was once used, I guess. Okay, so I'll start my presentation. I'll share the screen. So, am I audible, everyone?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Yes. Okay. So, I think I saw your workshop schedule, and you all have come across IoT things which are already implemented. You have learned, I think, Arduino IDE programming. I think you all are aware of that. Also, how how to connect sensors, how to sandwich the devices, how to connect the devices, and how to program them. I think all are aware of. So I don't need to explain much in this regard. I think so. I'll just brush up the things. So my topic for today is applications of IoT in agriculture and home automation as well. Okay. So I'm just going to show you the basic idea, basic idea of how IoT can be useful in agriculture and basic implementation as well. Okay. So it is not the recent one. So how basically I could say the basics of IoT, how they connect and how they have evolved now. Okay. So how the IoT has evolved now and how the use cases are, probabilistically which are used in the current market or current technology wise. So I'm going to just explain that. Okay, so the current scenario of IoT you all are aware of. In general we can say, so IoT is a connection between the devices. The devices are interconnected to deliver some data, and the data can be analyzed and visualized by the user equipment or by the user in such a way that he can control and monitor the devices. So that itself is the IoT. So the era of IoT is gaining so much importance, and by the near future, so I think it's already implemented in other foreign countries like US and some of the major cities. Also, India is not lagging behind. It's also very much progressive, and it is also trying to implement certain technologies in a bigger path. So in coming future, India or other countries will be gaining so much of IoT exposure, and will be developing projects like smart cities, smart home, smart agriculture. All these things will be implemented in a very near future. So we will be very much lucky to witness the technologies implementing in it. So As Rahul told, there are many applications of IoT. So you can see in many sectors there are smart cities, smart healthcare, smart home, energy management. There are many sectors where IoT can be useful. Not only in one sector, the IoT will be useful in many sectors. So the many researchers, many engineers, they are trying to search for new technologies, search for new field where they can implement IoT in a good way. Okay, and there are many researchers and many funds are released by the government to work on these projects. And I think smart cities are already they are already showcased and they're already passed in the parliament, and in near future it will be implemented soon. So with smart cities there are other things also which are taken care of. Smart homes, as I told you, there are the recent technology of smart home is so secured and so it's so dashing that when we see the videos, I have the videos of that. I can show you in the end. I think all have seen that. But the current trend of smart home, if you see, you can just using your mobile phone or in the fingertips of your mobile phone, you can see the whole picture of your house. You can control your house. You can control the devices of the house. You can monitor your house. So it's really amazing, the smart home concept. Healthcare, yeah, obviously there are certain technologies which are developing in the healthcare sector too. So in the near future, there is no doubt that we are going to witness good healthcare facilities also. You can see transportation. Yeah, as Rahul told, there are many techniques in IoT which give you a clear idea of how your vehicle is secured or where your vehicle is exactly going, or you can say RFID or certain technologies which control your give you the information of your vehicles. Smart manufacturing, yes, it's already implemented. There are certain industries or certain technologies which have been introduced, and the manufacturing is going in a faster way, in a precise way, and we can say in a large reduction of labor. With less labor, the manufacturing is taking place. Automotive cars, agriculture, home appliances, wearables, energy management. These are the different sectors where IoT is very much in use. So we'll see today agriculture and smart home, a basic application of IoT. I'm not gonna go deep, but I have certain code and certain things I'll share with you where you can implement it by connecting the devices. It's just a work of mine. I'll share with you so that you can later combine and do it and practically implement it. Okay. So why IoT on agriculture? Okay, as I told you, researchers are going on various fields, and agriculture is one of the field. I am typically from my agricultural background. Okay, so my house is in Karnataka. Have you all heard of? I'm not sure whether you have heard of Beltangadi, Dharmasthala. So I come to that sector, and most of the people here, they work on, depend on agriculture for their daily basis or daily, daily food. So the problems, in agricultural sector are many. You can say the main problem which you are facing is lack of labor right now. There are, the laborers are so, it's a hard-working field where you need to work hard. The farmers, usually they work hard to gain their fruit or to gain the income, and they sell it to the vendors and they get the income. So the laborers, lack of labor is a major issue here, because we need to book the laborers in advance. There are, the current scenario in a family. Earlier there were 10, 15 people. The family was too big, so the laborers, the people used to work at home. But now the family is of 4 or 5 people, and if you have agricultural land of 5 acres or 6 acres, it's very much difficult to manage with 2 or 3 laborers. So you need more laborers, and the scarcity of labor is the problem. Outdated technologies. Yeah, obviously the technologies which you are using are of 15 years old or 20 years old, which are actually economical. It is of less price. But implementing IoT in agriculture will be more economical. More costlier, but it will be one-time investment, monitoring, security, and all the other aspects will gain so much importance, or will be so much in a way of progress. So progress will be there if you use the current technologies. Certainly there are many issues with the current technology. There are many drawbacks. So overcoming them and moving forward is the major thing. So yeah, why IoT or agriculture? Outdated technologies. Economics of agriculture enterprises is closely associated with living organisms. The agriculture is nothing but living with the living things. So we have vegetables, with the trees, coconut trees or arecanut trees. We have tomatoes. We have many vegetables which are living things. Okay, so we depend on living things. So if there exists a flood or heavy rain, or if there is no rain also, so there are certain factors which impact the living organisms. So taking care of the living organisms, or we can say the current factors, is a major issue. So we need a greater technology to maintain the living organisms. So if we have the current scenario, if you see for the highest in the Mangalore itself, if there was a rain, and recently in December it rained yesterday also. So there are certain people who do the climatic agriculture, and it will affect them. So that is a major drawback. Also dependence on external factors. Yes, as I told you, climate, weather, it's a main thing to consider. So they are unpredicted. Climate, your weather, it is unpredicted. You can't expect a rain. You can't expect the climate to be stable. Or earlier we had 4 months of summer season, 4 months of rainy seasons, 4 months of winter season and spring season. But now you can't say when is the rainy season, when is the winter season, or when is the rainy season, because in one day itself you experience all the 3 climates. In the morning you have cold, it's a sunny day. In the afternoon and evening it is raining. So we are experiencing all the 3 climates at once. So the climatic conditions are unpredicted. Also, to manage the climatic conditions and go according to the according to the climate with the current technology is a challenge, and it is a field where engineers are looking on. Okay, seasonality. Yes, some vegetables, they are seasonal, and some some agricultural products are seasonal. So taking care of seasonal products via technology is also the issue. So to tackle all this, lack of labor, to tackle all these, we need IoT in agriculture. So here is a hierarchy of applications, services, and sensors used. I think all are aware of number of sensors. The thousands of sensors are there here now, and they're evolving. Day by day the sensors rate are increasing, and also the use of each sensor is gaining so much importance. So when it comes to smart agriculture, there are various applications. Okay, applications come to different field. One is water and nutrition monitoring field. You have diseases and bug monitoring. You have soil monitoring. You have crop health monitoring, etc., etc. So there are many fields where technology or IoT can be applicable, and services like irrigation, pesticides, fungicides, herbicides. These are the services which the IoT should be taking care of, and will be provided by the efficient implementation of IoT. And these are several sensors. So as I told, I would like to share something. After my BE, I did my master's. I was working for a company, and then I did my master's. And after my master's, I was doing an internship. During my master's itself, I was doing an internship with a company where the major project was IoT related. So it is a big project of a big fund which was released by the company for the project, and I was handling this sector. It is nothing but automatic irrigation. It is common nowadays. Okay, so it is already implemented many years ago. I mean, the idea is it's very old, but the current technology which we can use to automate the irrigation is with less cost. The main thing we Indians focus is on less cost and less maintenance. It is a very good field to catch on. We Indians are very much interested. So our aim was to irrigate automatic irrigation. I'm not supposed to share the actual methodology. This is a small methodology which I worked on. Okay, so this is also not exact one. So I have certain company copyrights where I'm not supposed to show the diagram or methodology. But for your general thing, So this is a methodology which is taken from the internet as well. Okay. So your automatic irrigation is automated using a soil moisture level sensor. This is a very basic one, but our end of the project was bit at high level. So we used machine learning and certain techniques to get the data and automate them. So we had a moisture sensor, okay, and it was connected to a microcontroller. So in India there are different types of soils. Okay, there are black soil, there is red soil, or there is sand type of soil. There are many soils. You need to. I had a work of investigating different types of soils. Okay, so threshold value was set to 30%, or the number is 30, or you can say 30%. Below 30%, if the moisture level of the soil goes below 30%, automatically the drip will be on. I mean, if the moisture is less, automatically drip will be on. Drip will be on. If the moisture was more, more, automatically drip will be off. So it's a simple technology, simple methodology. But what I had to do was, I had to consider different types of mud, different types of area where it is not uniform. The area is not uniform, and different types of irrigation methods. Maybe drip irrigation, maybe sprinkler system, or maybe bubbler system. There are many systems where irrigation systems which are handled, and maintaining different irrigation system for different soil types, for different soil areas is a major challenge when it came to implement this project. So one of our IIT students, they had implemented similar kind of project for IoT using IoT for agriculture, agriculture using IoT. So I'll share the code as well as the actual scenario and everything at the end and the description. So you can go to that page and you can see the code, and also you can do it by yourself. It is a very easy and very useful technology which is already implemented. Okay, so this is already outdated now. Again, new technologies are there, but I'll just explain you the simple mechanism behind this. So you can see a tank, a gate hole, what we can say, a wall to leave the water, and you can see drip irrigation system there. Okay, I'll show you the side view. So you can see pipes and they are drip irrigated. Okay, there are small holes in each pipes. So there are three nodes. Okay, two are sensor nodes, one is central node. I think all are aware of this. These are very similar and basic ones. So sensor node consists of nothing but a microcontroller and moisture sensor. Okay, soil moisture sensor and sensor node. And central node is also consisting of a microcontroller, that is node MCU ESP8266, and also it is connected to a DC motor to automatically on the wall. We can see the wall here. So automatically on the wall, I'll show you the mechanism. So you have a DC motor. Also you can use, instead of DC motor, you can use solenoid valves, which are very much in in use, to automatically on the gate hole. Okay. So sensor node, yeah. So it is consisting of a node MCU, version 1 node MCU, and it's consisting of a soil moisture sensor. It's a easy, all are aware of this, I guess. So moisture sensor will typically give you the value of moisture. Okay. It is a simple sensor. Okay, it just gives you the moisture value of the mud or the soil. And central node. Okay, as I told you, there are three nodes: sensor 1, sensor 2, and central node. So all these are wirelessly connected. Okay, there is wireless connection between them. There is no wired connection. Okay, wireless connection. So ESP8266 node MCU, I think you all are aware of. It is a Wi-Fi enabled, so it can transfer data through Wi-Fi. Okay. So moisture sensor, it delivers the moisture level data to node MCU, and it will send it to the central node, and it is again forwarded to the ThinkSpeak server. I think they have used ThinkSpeak server. Okay, you can use Blink app as well as there are many technologies where you can load and save the store the data. You can use AWS, you can use cloud services. There are many things where you can deploy the data. Okay, in this case, I think the students have used the ThinkSpeak server. Okay, to store the data. There is the central node. Okay, there are two diagrams here. So central node with the DC motor, and central node with the solenoid valve. Okay, you can use any one of them, either DC motors or excuse me, solenoid valve. Okay, here they have used DC motor. You can see the side view. They have used a they have used a battery to just on it. They have used the relay. okay, relay module, which is when the central node, when the moisture level goes below the threshold value, automatically the relay will work and it will turn the gate on. It's a very simple mechanism. Okay, so the DC motor is connected to the node MCU, and it will just turn on the valve and turn off automatically if the irrigation or the moisture level is below 30% or the threshold value, the above threshold value. Okay. So there are many applications. This is a small basic application I told you, the smart irrigation concept. So similar to this, there are many other smart irrigation concepts. This was developed and implemented by IIT. They have started their own startup called SIMS. Okay, so they are they are taking the orders from the farmers and they are doing this whole infrastructure with some their rate or some cost, and it is gaining a lot of importance nowadays. Okay, so you don't need labor to manage the irrigation. Okay, they have reduced the labor. Also, they have used a mobile app where you can manage and maintain or monitor your field. Okay, so these sensor nodes, there is also a LED light in that. Okay, there are many multi users, so they will stop the predators at night, or there are certain technologies which can be implemented again in this thing, where they can work as multitask. Okay, they can do multitasking. They can either in the mobile app you can see the moisture level, you can see whether the pump is on or off, or you can manually on or off the pump. Okay, or you can keep the option to automatic. So these are many things which are there. So for this project, the main criteria is your irrigation system should be drip irrigated. Okay, and the land is land is uniform level. So this is one criteria. Okay, your land should be uniform and your irrigation system should be drip. There are certain scenarios where land is not uniform. Okay, where the irrigation system is not drip. Maybe it is a sprinkler system, or maybe bubbler system. So there are many systems of irrigation. So for that scenario, that technology is not applicable. This technology is not applicable. This technology is applicable only for drip irrigation system. Again, for that scenario of non-uniform area, different mud, different crop, different soil fertility, and different moisture level for the different soils. So you need to have another technology for that, or another system of smart irrigation. Okay, so that there are many technologies, techniques, or different techniques. So this is simple, cost friendly. Okay, you can hardly say for drip irrigation you need almost 3,000 to 4,000 rupees, and these nodes, sensors, and all very cheap. For 250 rupees you get node MCU or Arduino Uno. You can use it is very cheaper. So one-time investment and maintenance is only the thing you can take care of. Your labor charges of daily, you can say here we have 500 rupees per day for labor. So 500 rupees per day, and 4,000, 3,000 per 6 or 1 year, you can say, is highly economical. And other thing is sustainability. Maintenance is also the thing. You can need to change the batteries, you need to maintain the nodes, you need to maintain the sensors. So that also comes into picture. So this is the cheap or user friendly, costly friendly infrastructure implemented by IIT students, and they have got the current technology as well. Okay. So there are many applications, other applications as well. I have mentioned few. Okay, only few I have mentioned. There are many more. When it comes to IoT, you can see there are many more. Okay, so you can see monitoring of climatic conditions, greenhouse automation, crop management, cattle monitoring and management, precision farming, agricultural drones. So these applications, using various sensors. Okay, I have worked with the moisture sensor, humidity sensor, and other sensors to get the value, or to get the soil fertility, or to get the idea of automatic irrigation. But there are certain other sectors as well, as crop management, cattle monitoring. Cattle monitoring also is there are various sensors called tail sensors, and GPS. Also, you can monitor your cow using, there is a belt sensor. Okay, for the cow. So when cow comes to heat, what we call, so that is also can be received by the doctor on his mobile app. Okay, the veterinary doctor also can manage and monitor the things going on with the cow. So there are many other technologies which are coming into which are already implemented in foreign areas, and which will be implemented in India as well in near future, and already some are implemented. Okay. So in detail, you can just search on the web, or you can see YouTube videos for more information. There are many more applications. So you can see the outcome. Okay, you have certain inputs. As I told you, the best example was irrigation. So for irrigation, the data was nothing but the soil moisture. Okay, so that was the data, and for that data below that threshold value, automatically the pump will be on. Similarly, for other crops, crop data in the sense, for example, if you are growing a apple, apple farm, if you are having apple farm, so there is a certain technology now which uses image processing, and certain robotics or robot have come into existence where they process the image, they capture it, they use the image processing technique, and they automatically plug the apples which are ripe. Okay, so the extent of technology, the advancement in the technology is to that extent where you don't require a labor. Automatically robots will go, and based on the crop data, I mean based on the current scenario, for example, that apple picture, it will predict that whether apple is ripe or good enough to be plucked, and it automatically pluck it without harming the apple. Okay, so that sort of precision level of technology has been implemented, and it will be in existence. So there are various, in this case there are various inputs which we give, and processes like crop data, environment data, soil data. These are the inputs which we get, which we give. And the processes like, you have to prepare the land, you have to prepare the infrastructure should be the main thing, considering the thing is infrastructure is the main thing while implementing the technology. Okay, so you have to prepare the land, you have to sieve it. Okay, even for sieving it, even for irrigation, even for fertilization, maintaining the crop, or plucking it, or ripening it, all the other pesticides or fungicides, for all this there is a technology. Okay, drones, you can see agricultural drones. So these are used to spray the fertilizers into the field. Okay, also to capture the real image of the field, or to monitor the things. So there are many things. I think in India there was an attack by some of the nuggets, what you call last year, green. I forgot the name. So agricultural drones were used to spray the thing on them, and they to kill them. Okay, so certain technologies will be into the picture. So output, as usual, quantity, quality, control, economy, future predictions, update standard policies, etc. So you have quality of output. So with your mobile phone, you can manage the agricultural land what you have, and you will be having the overall picture of what is going on exactly in your agriculture. Okay, I mean in your land. Okay, so farmers will be very much though there are certain limitations as well here. Okay, farmers should be educated. Farmers should be given a certain demo or promo of these technologies. Educated farmers are very less to find. So the technology should be well maintained and used by the farmers. So for farmers, we need to explain the technology. We need to guide them. So constant guiding and constant maintaining the technology is also plays an important role. So few emerging use cases. Okay, these are the emerging use cases which will be which are already in use in other countries, which are already implemented, and which are yet to be implemented in some countries. Okay, crop protection using early prediction system with data crunching. Okay, so this is a use case. Okay, some research is obviously going on these use cases. So prediction system is we are in the era of artificial intelligence and machine learning, where prediction is playing an important role. So machine is learning by itself by predicting the next output or next input, what we call. Excuse me. Sorry, I'm not well. I'm sorry for the inconvenience caused. So if my voice is not that good, please bear with me. Okay, so harvesting predictions using customized crop monitoring. Even you can predict the harvesting. Okay, so based on the fruit or based on the profit of your last crop. Okay, so for example, if you have grown paddy this for 6 months or for 4 months, so based on the profit or based on the data, that is how much you got the yield, how much pesticides you used or how much water content. All this data should be collected, analyzed, and predicted. Predictions are made such that you do better next time. Okay, so this is also a very much important field. You have infrared cameras and heat sensors to blow away the night predators. Okay, there are many problems when it comes to agriculture. You have wild boars, you have peacocks, you have hens, you have cows, or many other animals, elephants usually. So they attack your field. So various technology is coming into picture to blow away such predators. Okay. Next is cattle tracking. Yes, I told you. The technology, they use a belt, okay, so which will track the cattle where it is and the actual health of the cattle. Okay, one of my project students who was doing a project under me, so he came up with the good idea of tracking the health of a cow, and when the cow is pregnant, or when the cow is about to give a birth to baby calf, the health of the cow and the overall monitoring of the cow. So such projects were implemented by some of my students, and they were trying it. Unfortunately, I couldn't cope up with them because I left my job there and I joined the research here. But they are in constant touch with me, and they are planning to implement that project, as well as monitoring of a pregnant woman using IoT. Okay, it's a wristband where pregnant woman should tie it to a hand, and real-time data, the blood pressure level, the heartbeat of the child, and as well as the mother, and all things data will be received by a doctor as well as her husband or the family members. Okay, real-time tracking. Okay, that is what we call, and it's very much gaining importance. That was also a project by some of the students, and they are very much keen in implementing such IoT projects. Okay, Uber-like app for agri vehicles and equipments. Yeah, obviously, Uber, Uber, Ola, Oyo Rooms. All these are the apps which are very much famous nowadays. So even for agricultural vehicles and equipments, you need such apps. Okay, to deliver the pesticides, to deliver the fertilizers, or your deliver the crop which is given by the farmer to an industry. The farmer should know what exactly is happening with the crop. All these things, okay, should be monitored, and such technology can be useful. So farmer will be getting information of his crop, or of his fertilizer, or when the fertilizer will come. All this sort of information should be given. Pregnant cow monitoring using tail sensors. Yeah, you can search this on YouTube. A tail sensor, Mocall. It's called a Mocall, I guess. I'm not so sure. So it will monitor the pregnant cow. Okay. Aerial planting techniques to sow seeds. Yes, it's you have seen, it's common nowadays. You have seen videos of aerial planting. Okay. They use drones, or they use high-tech technology machines to plant the seeds. Okay. Pest detection using infrared sensors. Yes, in your crop, if there are pests, okay, if there are fungus going on, or if there are insects which are eating your crops, detection of them using infrared sensors is also the current technology. I think some of the technologies were already there in the 4 years ago, but they are modified, and they are brought into picture with the certain techniques, the current techniques. Harvesting techniques, remotely operated irrigation systems. I showed you just now. I showed you the example of automatic irrigation system where you remotely operate, or you have a mobile app where you can operate your irrigation system, or else you can keep it in auto mode where automatically when the moisture goes down, it opens up. There are certain crops who don't need much water. Okay, there are certain crops where you don't need to continuously supply water. There are certain crops who continuously need water, and some don't need. So all these criteria should be taken care, and accordingly you have to plan the technology, or accordingly you have to plan the implementation of IoT. Okay, so certain crops, they need continuous water. Certain crops, they don't need water at all. Certain crops, they need water for 2 days, and then for remaining 3 days they don't need. So certain criteria should be taken care, and then you have to design the system to implement it. Smart irrigation controllers. Okay, sensors, forecast, plant care information. These are the technologies. Soil moisture, leaf wetness, temperature-based automation. These are all common technologies which are already there. Okay, this is on the soil moisture. You irrigate. You check the fertility of the soil. You have rainfall sensor for that. If the rain comes, you can again stop the irrigation. So all these things, you can taken care. All these are the use cases which are already, some are already implemented, some are yet to be implemented. Some are yet to be implemented, and some can be taken as a project as well. Okay. So this is the one which is, we need to take care. So now we are in 2020s. Now we can say our population is about 8.5 or 8. I'm not sure. So in coming 2050, our population will increase gradually by 10 or 15%. So let's say this is a picture from web. So let's say for 10B, okay, 10 billion. So if we have a population of 10 billion, the current scenario we need 56% of more food. Okay. Now we have the scarcity of food nowadays. So in 2050, if we are going by this rate, we need 56% of more food to feed people. You just see the 56%. Just imagine. Okay, so technologies should be implemented as soon as possible to increase the food rate. Okay, that is very much important. So now currently you can see agriculture uses 50% of world's vegetable land, vegetated. Okay. 50% of vegetated land, 593 million hectares. So 593 million hectare more land is required, and more resources are required in 2050. When we reach 2050, we need 593 million hectare of extra land. Just imagine. Okay, and more resources. Okay, you have the scarcity of water. You need you need constant water. You need pesticides, you need fertilizers, you need many other things to maintain the crop. So by the end of 2050, we need to maintain this thing. Also, we need to reduce the emissions. Nowadays, the government is taking a good step in introducing electrical vehicles, and where the emission rate is going drastically down. But by the end of 2050, our motto should be minus 67% of the current emission rate. I mean, your emission should be reduced to minus 67%. Okay, and certain technologies like smart farming, urban agriculture, resilient crop breeds should be implemented in such a way that all these food scarcity, water scarcity, resources scarcity should be overcome by using certain technologies. Not only IoT, there are many other technologies which are also playing a vigilant role in this. So in the near future, we think we can come abide with these challenges. Okay. So this was all about agriculture. There are certain other technologies as well. I just explained you smart irrigation system. There are smart farming, image processing thing is also can be used using IoT and 5G. You can implement certain things. There are many other applications as well. Okay, so you can ask me. You can ask certain use cases which are to be implemented or not. You can get the code from the certain developers for this. So next is IoT for home automation. I think all are aware of it. So I have a few videos at the end. The current 2020, I guess it was taken in 2020, the home in the US, where they have automated the home fully housed in such a way that they get the pin-to-pin information, or minute-wise information of their home. So nowadays, there are very less people who stay at home. They go to work, but due to pandemic, fortunately we all are at home. But other than that, the home is left alone. I mean, the security or the maintenance of the home takes it's an important role. So home automation will not only increase the security, but it will give you the whole picture, or the current scenario of what your home is going through. Okay, so the automation of the house is nothing but centralized control of lighting, heating, ventilation, air conditioning, etc. appliances, and also it is used to provide improved convenience, comfort, energy efficiency, and security. Saving the energy is very much important. We always forget to switch off. I mean, I don't know about others. I always forget to switch off the lights or fan. Sometimes unknowingly, not knowingly, unknowingly we forget. So certain energies are, vigilant. We need to take care of energies. We are scarce of water. There is no water nowadays. So wasting of water is very much, it is literally a crime. So saving water is our motto. So certain technologies have come into existence which will save water. It will save energy like electricity, heat energy, or many other energies which can be saved. So home automation plays a vital role in saving all these things. Okay, and security is a very much important one. So nowadays, thieves are also, you can see, thieves are also very much up to technologies. Okay, so they have different techniques of stealing. So you need so much secured home so that thieves cannot get into your house. So as the days goes, the thieves are also getting very much technology equipped. So that is the thing we have to take care. Okay. So you can see this picture. A user having a mobile phone or mobile app where he can monitor his house. Okay. Each and every appliances of this house can be monitored via various technologies. Okay, or various IoT devices. So this is the basic one. I think you have already implemented this. There is a your appliance, your light, fan, and you can say your AC or your TV is connected to a relay module, and it is connected to a ESP8266, which is a Wi-Fi repeater, and you can add Node MCU or you can add Arduino Uno to this. And I think you all are aware of this. I think I saw this one. You have already gone through the workshops, how to connect Arduino to the sensors or to the relay, and so all these things. It's a simple one, basic home automation thing. You connect a bulb or fan to a relay module and then to the Arduino Uno or Node MCU or any other device, and it is connected to a network, maybe router, or you can use SIM module as a 5G. You can use the VoLTE network. And it is connected to MQTT server, and through server it is sent to the user equipment, maybe browser, maybe mobile, maybe messenger. All of this. MQTT server is nothing but message queuing, telemetry transport server, which works on. It was generally found out by IBM. Now it is an open server. Okay, it was found by IBM in the early stages. Then they have left it open to everyone, where anyone can use. So it has a broker. Okay, so MQTT server, it has a broker, where broker in the sense you can consider AWS, Amazon Web Services, or you have a Mosquitto broker or ActiveMQ broker. So there are many brokers which receive the information or data from the sensors. Okay, there is a publisher subscribe thing where if you want a data from someone, you need to subscribe. For example, in your YouTube, if you want to get updates from that channel, you subscribe to that channel, and whenever the channel gets the new video, you get the update or you get the notification. Similarly with this, so publishing subscribing is nothing but sensor will publish the value to those who have subscribed to that server or subscribed to that topic. For example, bulb is a topic, so bulb is giving you a value whether it is on or off, 0 or 1, to MQTT server. Okay, and server is passing it to the broker. So broker is connected to the many clients, maybe mobile or maybe any other clients. So mobile should subscribe to that topic called bulb or light, and that value or that data can be received by that client or mobile. Okay, simple technology. This is a very basic one. This is also the old one. All might be knowing this. I just told you to get the idea. But this is the basic one which they started, and now they have become, now the technology is very high where you can't imagine as well. Okay, artificial intelligence and machine learning, they have come into picture and they are changing the whole scenario of the current trend. We are very lucky to witness such technologies. So this is also other thing. You can use Amazon Web Services as well. Okay, via cloud you can get the information. You can store the data also in that cloud. Also, you can analyze the data. You can apply various algorithms on that, and you can get the better output or better visualization of the data. And automatically, you can automate your appliances. Okay, you can use many things here. Okay, a simple one. So they have used Node MCU, and for each appliances they have used a single Node MCU. And to get the visibility, you can use also Raspberry Pi as well. Okay, so on your tablet or in your PC, you can use Raspberry Pi to get the visualizations or to get the visuals of what actually is going on. So This is the picture of smart home. Okay, I have certain videos. If your time permits, I'll play them, or else I will share them on your chat box. You can just watch them. So it will show you the current smart home scenario. Okay, in this you can see security system, smart door lock, smart garage. Okay, smart bathroom. Yeah, it's also there. So each and every equipment, or each and every place of your home or device of your home is under your control. Okay, so this is nothing but it is making you, the technology is making you lazy. Okay, earlier days we used to go manually and we used to switch off the fans, but now it is making you more lazy. Okay, that you can make as a disadvantage. Okay, but advantage is so much. There are many advantages when compared to disadvantages. You need to drastically or monitor the disadvantages as well, and you need to overcome them, and then you can be using the smart home system efficiently. Okay, so smart home and smart irrigation are the two applications which I went basically not in deep, but just for your understanding. So okay, there are 3 videos here. Smart irrigation, Zelda Ocarina. Okay, this is one of the different style of automating the home. He used a musical instrument. Okay, Zelda. Okay, it's a musical instrument. It's like Alexa. Okay, so it uses sound waves. Okay, he plays a flute, or he plays a musical device, and the Zelda will catch that sound and automatically on the pump, or automatically switch off the light. So that is different innovation which he has made. He has used Alexa, Alexa's kind of technology. And the last one is the 21 home automation ideas. That is also a video on YouTube. So if you want to play, if you want me to play them, I can play, or else we can, I will post them in the thing, and you can do it. I mean, you can watch it by your own. So we already are, scarce of time. It's already 10:55. Okay, so you have a half an hour break, I guess. So if you have any doubts or queries, you're free to ask. I will answer them. The picture what I gave was very basic one. Okay, and the use cases are the recent ones. So these are the use cases which are implemented in some countries, and which are yet to be implemented in some. But the technology is getting advanced day by day, and in near future there is no doubt we'll have the advanced, and each and every technology there is pros and cons. So overcoming them and getting the efficient technology is the real challenge here. So if you have any doubts, you're free to ask. I'm sorry for the inconvenience because I had some throat issues. So if my voice was not clear, or if I was too fast, I'm sorry. But yeah, if you have any doubts, you're free to ask.
Dear participants, if you're having any sort of queries, you can make use of this time. So you can either type your question in the chat section, or you can unmute yourself and ask questions.
So if not today, I can send you the mail ID as well. Okay, I'll post that. You can mail me if you have any queries. Okay, if you are not able to ask now, you can mail me. Okay, yeah. Mohit sir. Tyson, so villages are not easily going to accept technology. What do you think future of IoT in agriculture? Yes, as I told you. So villages, most of the villages are uneducated. Okay, there is lack of education. First thing our system should implement, do is educate everyone. So the current generation, I think, even farmers, they are educating their children. So there will be an era where their kids or where their children will, teach them to use the technology. In the near future, the next generation, obviously, I'm a farmer's son. Okay, my dad is an agriculturist. So my dad is not aware of certain technologies, but I am. So I will teach my dad. Okay, so that is the way it works. And also there are certain, programs by the government sector where they provide free training to the farmers, and they show the current technologies. I went to one of the programs where they showed us the current without climbing the Arakanut tree or without climbing the coconut tree. There is a machine where you can just sit on it and it will take you to the top. Okay, so it's current technology, where earlier people used to manually go up And also there is a machine which will manually go up and plug the Ethernet and come down. So that is a good thing. It may take time for IoT. No, sir. I think some sectors in some where there is educated farmers or who are very much well versed with the technology. Such farmers are very much updated. They have already implemented certain technologies. Who is having hectares of land, they are to manage those hectares of land, they have used IoT in efficient way. I think in India we are lagging, but in some some part of India also they have implemented this, many of the IoT technologies, and our government is taking so much of interest regarding agriculture. You see, the technologies with agriculture are funded most. I had been to that program here in Beltangadi, where they showed us the current very much cost-friendly technologies to agriculture. Okay, so people are ready to adapt them. Yes, I will share my email ID with you all, so you can mail me anytime. Okay, this is my mail ID. Also, I can share the videos. Okay, one sec, I will share it in your chat box. I'll share it, so you can watch them to get the idea of what exactly is happening. Okay. So I think you have smart irrigation one, Zelda Ocarina, it's a different one, okay, and Ultimate Smart Home Tech Tour. So these are 3 links which you can watch when you're free, and you'll get the idea of what basically is happening. But you can see only the front end, the back end, the technology behind that. That is the thing which we should concentrate. Being engineers, we should concentrate on the back end. Okay, so the video just shows you the front end of the thing. So back end of the thing is so much interesting. You can research on it. You can use other technologies, or you can use cost-friendly techniques to implement them as well. Yes. Any other queries? Please do watch those videos. You'll get a clear picture. And okay, sorry, I forgot to share the page. Can I share a file here? YouTube. I'm not sure. Okay, the first one, smart irrigation. Go to that YouTube channel. Down you get a page, and you can see the page, and you can contact. There is a contact number also. They come and do the infrastructure of the project. You go to that page, and you can see you will find a code there. Okay, you will find a code. You just open it, and you can implement it. Okay. I forgot where did I store it. So you can implement that code as well. That smart irrigation, the first one, go to that YouTube, and down you will get a code as well as circuit diagram and everything in that. So you can just implement it as a practical session. You can just implement it. You can do the connections. They use normal node MCUs and moisture sensor and things to speak server. So you can do that. Even you can use Blink as well. So you can practically implement it. Okay. Any queries? Any other queries? Okay, I think no queries. We are out of time. So it's great pleasure to me and Rahul for hosting this session. It's really a great honor to host the IoT session. So I would like to thank the coordinators. I would like to thank our guide, Dr. Kiran sir, for giving us the opportunity here. And also I would like to thank the coordinators for allowing us to do this session and giving us the opportunity to handle the sessions. So it's a great pleasure having you all. I think if nothing else, we can leave the meeting. Dr. Pramod sir, anything else? You can let us know.
Thank you, Mr. Tyson, for taking us through various applications of IoT in agriculture, and it was really a great session. Now let's break for tea, and we'll resume back at 11:30. Thank you.
Yes, thank you. Thank you.
So can you please share those links that sir shared right now on WhatsApp group?
Okay, madam.